This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shasheena. Rolle. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, Bimini is an island on the move. With the opening of its first casino on Friday, the island is becoming a growing economic center in the north. But there are many amenities coming on stream to complement Bimini's burgeoning economy, including a new cruise vessel. Megan Shepard has that story.
The island of Bimini is quickly undergoing major transformation, with the opening of a casino on the island this past Friday and the announcement of a new cruise ship to sail to the tiny island. Chairman of the Gentings Group, Tan Lim, says it's a part of an innovative business model, creating a cruise destination resort.
The cruise ship being Bimini Superfast and the destination resorts will Bimini, Bahamas. We have carefully selected a cruise ship which at 32,000 gross tons, 670 feet long and 82 feet wide, and 10 decks high, is large enough to comfortably cross the powerful Gulf Stream on a year-round basis. And with a top speed of 30 knots, the fastest for a cruise ship in the Americas.
Lim believes this cruise will attract thousands of new visitors to the island.
Another innovative feature of the Bimini Superfast is that it can carry cargo, which will lower transportation cost for goods to Bimini by at least 1/3. She can also carry boats and private yachts, and make the Great Bahama Bank a year-round sailing destination, bringing greater economic activity to the Bahamas and more revenues for the government.
Members of Parliament for Bimini and Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Obi Wiltcombe, was also on hand for the resort's World Casino opening. The minister noting that the island of Bimini is in need of work, but he is confident that he can work along with the people and fellow cabinet ministers to bring about growth and improvement.
We now have the engine to drive the economy. And with the engine, we recognize that we must now prepare our people. And I'm so very pleased that my cabinet colleagues, particularly the minister responsible for education and the minister responsible for labor, are here today, because both individuals have been given an awesome responsibility to prepare our people to participate not only as workers, but certainly to begin the stage as workers, but owners and creators of opportunity for this island.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Megan. Now, even though the fast ferry got the green light to run, it is still not in operation. Prime Minister Christie says for safety reasons, the boat hasn't left the port of Everglades. The Prime Minister did not give any indication as to when the checks by the U.S. Coast Guard will be completed, but he told reporters in New Providence today that it is better to be safe than to be sorry. Nonetheless, he said the island of Bimini is poised for long-term success given the new infrastructure now in place. In other news, the former chairman of the National Advisory Committee on Technical Vocational Education and Training is endorsing the establishment of a national training agency. A bill was introduced to Parliament last week to develop the competency-based training and job placements program, and tonight a well-known educator says it is an idea whose time has come. Now Lee Martinborough fills us in.
Veteran educator Dr. Donald McCartney says a national training agency was foreshadowed as far back as 1992. He says he believes the Bahamas is the only CARICOM country without a national training agency that is needed to establish occupational standards and a certification.
We talked about this kind of thing when I chaired the National Advisory Committee for Technical Vocational Education and Training. All right, it was foreshadowed. And then, of course, remember in 1999, I chaired a committee where they were looking at BTVI. We looked at BTVI and we made some recommendations for the structure of BTVI. In fact, we recommended it become a college, okay? And at the same time, we recognized that there needed to be either a training department or there needed to be a national training system. And we'd recommend that all of the training systems within the government fall under that national training system.
The agency will focus on areas like auto repairs, retail services, office procedures, and hospitality training. While some have called it a duplication of the work of BTVI, Dr. McCartney disagrees.
No, because BTVI is an institution. It's an institution offering programs, offering technical programs, and I see the NTA basically ensuring that BTVIs, once you get a diploma from BTVI, that it would have met those criteria. And once you get a student from BTVI, you take it and you understand that the NTA has approved those courses of studies that those persons would have taken in BTVI. I think it gives BTVI more power, more credibility, in my humble opinion.
Now, the government hopes the training agency will help to reduce unemployment, but Dr. McCartney believes there's an even greater issue on the horizon.
Like I said, if you're going to the WTO, you got to make sure your people are prepared, because you can't have these protectionist policies in place. When you say this is for Bahamians, WTO is going to perhaps say to you, if you want to be a part of us, you have to allow your people to be able to compete. I think the government is going to have, in my opinion, a responsibility to ensure that the public and industry understands what this MTA is all about.
Natalie Martinborough, ZNS Network News.
The community of East End sharing in the independence celebrations with a cultural extravaganza at the park in High Rock on Friday. It was a show of Bahamian culture as gospel groups performed in honor of the country's 40th anniversary of independence. MP for East Grand Bahama Peter Turnquist was among the crowd of spectators.
Yes, we have our difficulties, but no one can say that this little country is not the best little country in all the world. I am so proud to be a member of Parliament representing the great people of East Grand Bahama at this time, to mark this significant milestone in our development. And I am sure that if we all pull together, we all put our shoulder to the wheel, we will conquer all of the problems that is facing us today.
Assistant Administrator Sharik Alice commended the groups for taking part in the celebration. He said as the country looks to the next 40 years, Bahamians must adopt the motto of the coat of arms and apply it to their daily lives.
We have to live as one. We are not to get to the political division whereby we say forward, upward, onward for one party and the next. That forward, upward, onward together means that we are to live at one when the election is over. So I say to you here tonight, let's make a stand, because we have the youths that are coming forward in the new generation. And if we don't set a standard as senior citizen, we can imagine what would happen in another 40 years. So I appeal to you tonight, as we go forward and forward into a new generation, let us remember to live together as one.
The local Independence Committee heading into the home stretch now as the country moves closer to the 40th anniversary of independence. This coming Thursday, the committee will welcome the national flag to Grand Bahama. The flag is journeyed through the islands, and Grand Bahama will be the final stop before it heads back to the nation's capital. Co-chair of the Independence Committee, Peter Adderley, says a special service is planned.
The flag lands on Grand Bahama on Thursday, July 4th. It will be received at around 11:30 from the Freeport Domestic Airport, and it will end up at the Pro-Cathedral of Christ the King, Freeport's first church, for a midday mass at 12 noon, where prayers will be rendered for the flag with a brief mass, and then the flag will go back to New Providence. We are inviting the entire Grand Bahama community to demonstrate their patriotic spirit and attend this midday mass. It will only last for about 35 minutes.
Now, the arrival of the flag is expected to be a momentous occasion. An invitation is extended to residents of Grand Bahama to take part in that special service.
geographical makeup of the Bahamas lends to the beauty of what we are. Every island is like a different country, and persons have celebrated the landing in so many different ways. And many have had the planting of the maypoles, they've had flag raising ceremonies at airports, there have been great lunches and dinners, and we just simply want to thank God for the flag and our nation and have a wonderful midday mass here at Freeport's First Church on Pioneers Way, the Pro-Cathedral of Christ the King. For those persons who normally feel they have to sit around and wait on an invitation, this is your invitation. To just simply be Bahamian or love the Bahamas and show up at the Mass on Thursday, and let's render prayers and thanksgiving for how far we've come and show our respect for this great national symbol.
Stick with us, the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, back in just a moment.